Jake Carter had always been a talker. Ever since childhood, he believed that words held the key to success. He was the boy who always had something to say, always ready to prove his intelligence, always eager to share his opinion. But life had a way of teaching lessons in the most unexpected ways. Growing up in a small town in Texas, Jake was known for his confidence. Whether it was in the classroom, on the basketball court, or at the dinner table, he made sure his voice was heard. He believed that speaking up showed strength, that silence was for the weak. His father, a hard-working mechanic, often told him, "Son, a mind that listens learns more than a tongue that speaks." But Jake never took those words seriously. Jake had one goal. He wanted to be a businessman. Not just any businessman, but a leader, someone people looked up to. When he got accepted into one of the top business schools in New York, he felt unstoppable. He believed his quick thinking and sharp words would set him apart from the rest. From the first day of college, Jake made sure people noticed him. In class, he answered questions before the professor even finished asking. During group discussions, he dominated the conversation. If someone had an idea, he would counter it with a better one. His confidence was undeniable, but there was one problem: he never truly listened. One day, Jake's professor assigned a group project on market analysis. Jake was paired with 3 other students: Emma, a quiet but brilliant strategist; Chris, an analytical thinker; and David, a finance expert. From the start, Jake took control. He assigned tasks, set deadlines, and spoke about his vision for the project. As the weeks passed, he noticed something strange. His teammates were distant, often working on their own. During meetings, Emma barely spoke, Chris only nodded, and David kept his responses short. Jake didn't think much of it. After all, he was the leader, and they were following his direction. But on the day of the final presentation, everything changed. The professor asked each group to present their findings. Jake was excited, ready to impress. He spoke confidently, explaining their strategy, financial projections, and market trends. But when he looked at his teammates, something felt off. Then, the professor asked Emma a direct question about the data analysis. She paused, then answered with precision. The way she broke down the numbers was impressive. Chris followed, adding insights that Jake had never even considered. Then David, with his deep understanding of financial models, presented a plan that was far more advanced than anything Jake had imagined. As they spoke, Jake realized something. He had underestimated them. They weren't just followers, they were experts in their own right. And while he had been busy talking, they had been listening, learning, and preparing. After class, Jake felt a mix of emotions: shame, regret, and realization. He approached his teammates and said, "You guys were incredible. I had no idea you had all that insight." Emma gave a small smile. "It's not that we didn't have ideas, Jake. It's that we never had the space to share them." Chris added, "You're great at speaking, but leadership isn't just about talking. It's about listening, too." Those words hit Jake harder than he expected. That night, he remembered his father's advice: a mind that listens learns more than a tongue that speaks. He finally understood. From that day on, Jake changed. He still had his confidence, but he no longer spoke just to be heard. He started listening, really listening. He asked questions and paid attention to the answers. He observed before making decisions. Over time, something incredible happened. People started valuing his presence more. His conversations became deeper, his connections stronger. And when he finally started his own business years later, his greatest strength wasn't just his ability to speak, it was his ability to listen. Because in the end, silence wasn't weakness. It was wisdom.